Well, good evening, family. Welcome back. I know you're seeing quite a bit of me today, but that's okay. There's been news today, and I should have waited. I didn't think about it until after I went live. I was like, wait a minute, today's Monday.
Hmm.
John Harbaugh is probably going to give a press conference, but at any rate, good evening to everyone, and good evening to you, Hendo. How are you this evening?
I am well, and yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Wanted to just kind of give a quick recap of John Harbaugh's presser. And we are not going to be before you long because we know Hendo has the roundtable tonight, which is sure to be on fire. So make sure you go over to Coach Evans' channel at Sip to Tally Films and make sure you're subscribed because tonight is going to be action packed and I cannot wait. So we are not keeping Hendo here long.
That's right. Let's not keep
Let's
me here long. But but
no.
but 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 I do have it redirected towards if people come later on and they get to the end of the stream, it will redirect them towards the Ravens Roundtable. So
Okay, good. Very good. So if we happen to run a little bit longer than anticipated, don't worry.
we
Hendo
won't.
already took care of you, got you set up. Awesome. Hendo, did you have a chance to catch or listen to John Harbaugh's presser today?
Unfortunately, yes. Only because you said something. That was the only reason that I went into the press conference to hear what he has to say. Because normally it's the same coach speak, it's the same politician notes that he normally gives us. But the one thing that I did notice, it was just this familiar face that was just coming up in the comment section over and over and over. And I'm like, gosh, is this person working? Because that is a lot of comments. I'm not going to mention her name. I'm not going to say that she streamed 2 times today. But yeah, she was in there just giving her opinion.
I had a lot to say. If it's me, I had a lot to say. I know you're talking about me. We want to say good evening to those who've joined in the chat. Hey, Shug, second place. I saw you earlier and I did not say hello to you, so I apologize for that. I said the next time I catch you, I would let you know. Yes, thank you for being here now, and thank you for being there earlier. Yes, we came in second place on yesterday. Ravens
Mhm.
76 B more. Good afternoon, good evening to you. So let's start with one of the first questions that was asked about Deontay Johnson,
Right.
and John Harbaugh was kind of, they were inquiring about like, what's the status? Like, what's the deal with him, right?
Hmm.
And his response was, oh, yeah, I can't really get into all of that, but there's going to be more information forthcoming. Right. It didn't make any sense. What did you take from that?
Um, it's John Harbaugh. We've had 17 years of this. So for the people that are not familiar with him, it means something's happening. Same thing was said with Eddie Jackson when Eddie Jackson did not travel with the team. I think it was for the Cincinnati game. They left him at home and they asked him after the game what happened with Eddie Jackson, what's going on, is everything okay? And of course he's like, oh yeah, we're just working some things out. And next thing you know, we released him. Same thing happening with Marcus Williams. Oh, that's our guy. Feel confident that he's going to come through and play good football the rest of the year. We haven't seen much of Marcus Williams. He was inactive for this last game, and one thing that he said was Marcus Williams is a starting free safety in the NFL. So my question is, if he is a starting free safety, why is he inactive? Oh, I'm sorry. Did he dress? No, he dressed. No, he was inactive. He was inactive.
I think he was inactive,
He was
but I don't
inactive.
even think,
So
yeah, he didn't dress.
so if he's a starter in this league, why is he not even active for this game?
And yeah,
It's horrible.
I took away that there was really no response, right? That's kind of what I got from it. He was asked, John Harbaugh was asked point blank, kind of what's the deal? What's going on? And there was nothing discernible that he had to say. I don't know if it means that Deontay Johnson has requested a trade. And I mean, goodness, if that be the case, that was fast. We just brought him here 3 weeks ago, less than a month. So, yeah, today is December 2nd,
It's almost, yeah, we're getting close
and
up on it.
just about a month. So, in a month's time, there's trouble in the land between those two. I
Yes.
don't get it. No, I don't get that. You
Dude,
brought him.
he opened his mouth. John does not like players that open their mouths. And after the first or second week, he made some comments, and it was it wasn't as blatant, but it was in the same vein as Hollywood Brown. You know, What's the point of having soldiers if you're not going to use them? And to me, I I didn't think that Deontay was going to be a needle mover as far as taking the team over the hump, but I can say that in my personal opinion, he is better than Nelson Aguilar. He is better than Tylan Wallace. So especially when Bateman got hurt and went down in the game, why didn't you bring him in? Why didn't you give him more targets? Because this game we had a problem with drops. We had a problem with people not being where they were supposed to be. It was a myriad of things, but my thing is the best talent to me should be on the field. And if you believe that Deontay is one of the better wide receivers in this league, he has more yards this season than I think Tylan Wallace and Nelson Aguilar combined. And you have to think he hasn't caught a ball in what, 4 or 5 weeks?
Ooh, ooh, yeah. Wow. Yikes. This is pretty interesting to me because if we brought him here because we realized or we recognized that we were not well equipped with the wide receivers who you mentioned, beyond Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers, who did we really have dependability wise? Okay, so if we recognize that as an issue, we bring him in, and you're right, Hendo, it's been just a little over a month because he came right before the trade deadline. I was thinking of Tre'Davious White,
Right.
who came right at the deadline, but he came the week that Lamar was out, where he missed a couple of days of practice because of a back and I think knee. So it was that week that he came because the two of them didn't get a chance to practice together. But
November 4th, November 5th, one of those days was a trade deadline. So it's been almost a month.
and to think that we are here now, where when asked about him, and John Harbaugh really has no viable answer, that's a problem. Meanwhile, we see our team continuing to struggle, which leads me into point number 2. John Harbaugh was asked about this O-line. And paraphrasing here, his response was something along the lines of, O-line is okay. They're pretty good. I'm not, coming down too hard on any of them. There's room for improvement, sure, but overall they're okay.
Right.
Right. What did you think about that, Hendo?
You know what I think is a bunch of BS. He started off by saying, I'm glad for the wins that we have. And I think going forward, we have the team to get it done. Now, for most teams, they are going to play the best players available. When it comes to this offensive line, I think the experiment with Daniel Falele, I think it should be over by now. There are too many games, too many opportunities that he's missed where you could see him on film. And coach did a breakdown where he is missing guys. Like he's not just getting beat, he's lunging and not touching anybody. You know, the phrase touch grass? That's the only thing that he seems to be touching. Pat McCarry. They spoke about Pat McCarry and this being the most amount of snaps that he's ever played in his NFL career. And John was like, yeah, he had a problem with that, playing too many snaps. He wasn't as effective. And we're starting to see now, I mean, he hasn't been really effective since week 1, but more snaps that he gets, the more that he wears down. It's kind of like going from college to the pros. You play a certain number of games in college, then you get to the pros, and you play a 16-game schedule, 17-game schedule. Your body's not built for that. He is not talented enough, nor is he strong enough to handle the rigors of late season activity. But of course, John Harbaugh is going to say, yeah, I'm confident in our guys and what he's doing, which I guess I will give him some credit for. He's backing up his general manager because he called out Justin Tucker for his poor play, but you never hear him calling out Lele for his play because this is the line, this is the unit that Eric DeCosta decided I'm going into the season with, and they are not playing well. Now, yes, we get on some of the bottom feeders as far as defensive linemen go, and we play pretty well. We play decent enough. But when we play those guys with those studs, those game records, we look like high schoolers. We look like college kids. But yet and still, John Harbaugh is going to come out here. I'm proud of our guys. We played hard. We fought. We're going to get better. We're going to take the bye week to see what we can do and some changes we're going to make. But I guarantee you, none of those changes are going to have anything to do with at least giving Ben Cleveland a try. I don't care if you dislike the man or not. Give him a try. See if he plays any better. He cannot do any worse. That man is 6'8", 300 and something pounds. And you're telling me you can't just stand in front of somebody and block the sun?
Yes, agreed. He has to be better than Falele. And I got a chance to watch a little bit of Coach Evans' breakdown. Please, he's in the chat. Hey, Coach Evans, thanks for being
Something
here.
putrid.
And putrid was the word that he used to describe this offensive line. I would like to just take a moment to say, wow, when I saw the players on the ground, our offensive linemen, and I think Coach tweeted this earlier today, he said, "Get up." I couldn't. I'm laughing, but it's not really funny because if we think about it, that's Lamar Jackson and his life back there. And you
Right.
have offensive linemen lying on the ground. So it is really frustrating that I don't see changes are going to be made in terms of our offensive line. I just don't. Give or
Mhm.
take, going into a bye week or not, I don't think that we're going to see anything different than what we saw yesterday when we play the Giants in a week and a half. And let's
Yeah.
not forget, we
Let's
have
not.
3 games in I think
Mhm.
a 10-day span.
3 games in 10 days. I mean, listen. I think that is the only reason that they decided to take the bye so late was
Yeah.
because they knew that they had the 3 games in the 10 day stretch. So they wanted to be as fresh as possible for those three games. But it is a very tough slate. Outside of the Giants, we have a date with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that we just cannot seem to beat, regardless of the iteration, regardless of the talent level that Pittsburgh has. They always seem to come out victorious. Then on Christmas Day, we get to travel to Houston to play the Texans. Don't know what Texans team we're going to get, but they do have a good defense. And if Will Anderson is healthy, and Daniil Hunter, which I said the Ravens should have
Should
traded
have.
for a couple years back,
Yes.
he's out there by himself wrecking shop. So we have another defensive line that can give our offensive line, some problems. So it's gonna be tough, especially once we get to Christmas Day with that third game. Guys are
Yeah.
gonna be tired, they're gonna be nicked up, and that's when I think we're gonna have to rely on coaching. The one thing that I've said has been a problem for the longest time, and everybody's told me, "Oh, John Harbaugh's top 10, John Harbaugh this." But I think now people are starting to realize, especially after last season's debacle in the AFC Championship, I think going forward, people are starting to realize John may not be as great of a head coach as a lot of people think. And I think that there are going to be some changes on the horizon. We just don't know what they're going to be. And it is up to the head guy to make that right call and get this team where they need to be, unless we get another team mutiny. That would be lovely. Lamar
Ah,
needs to stand up and say, listen, I'm not going for this BS anymore. And a lot of people gave Lamar flack. I saw some shows that I shouldn't have saw that just came up on the TV, and they were like, after an incomplete pass, why was Lamar smiling? He was smiling out of frustration. He was smiling so that he didn't get frustrated and angry and out of character. He wasn't laughing because he thought it was funny. Like, people take anything to pick at Lamar Jackson, but they tend not to pick at John Harbaugh for some reason. They seem to let Teflon John get away with all of this malpractice.
yeah. We're going to take a couple of comments. Um, I see a lot of you have joined. Thank you all. Pop up
Appreciate it.
live streams. Make sure your post notifications are turned on because you never know when Hendo is going to show up here in these YouTube streets. Let's take a few comments. We only have a few more minutes and then we have one final topic that I want to kind of cover before we get out of here for tonight. Because remember, go over at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern
9:10.
Standard.
It's 9:10.
9:10. Thank you. Make sure at 9:10 Eastern Standard Time, you go over to Sip to Tally Films. He's in the chat. Click on his avatar. And I think Hendo linked the show for tonight. It's going to be all of that. I'm sure the gentlemen have a lot to say. But let's take some comments really, really quickly.
Listen, I have one request.
Okay.
It's okay. If you
Oh,
see Rave
okay.
Kingdom in here, do not pull up Rave Kingdom's comments.
Why?
I don't know. Something's off. I waited after the game the whole time to hear him get on Coach's live screen and talk and give his point of view. And
Hmm.
he was just so subtle and so subdued and just you could hear the frustration in his voice. I was ready to hear him go off, but yet still he was just like, he ended it early. He's like, I'm so frustrated. I don't know what to say. So
But
I need
sometimes
him to get back before he comments. I need him to bring that energy back. I need him to get me hype again.
The problem I have with it is sometimes in life, there are things that just really, right? And this is true for not just football,
Right.
anything. This is true for life in general. Sometimes there are events that just really set you off, and
Hmm.
you might not have the proper words to say at that moment. You might have to
Right.
think about it, take a minute,
Facts.
gather yourself, but
But
sometimes it's like that. I want to give a quick shout out to 86 Ghost, one of my
so,
amazing channel members. Thank you for being here. And if you'd like to be great, just like 86 Ghost, you can click on the link on my channel, and in the description box there is a join button where you can see the tiers that are available to you if you'd like to support the channel. But you were going to say something. I'm sorry, Hendo.
oh, I was gonna say, listen, and I understand everything that you just said, but I guess for me, there comes a time because, like I said, I've been a Ravens fan since inception. And there are times when you have to realize what you're dealing with. That's why I used to know sometimes I get a little hype, but I don't get overly hype because I expect these things. I expect
Yeah.
our teams to go into certain games and underperform and be underwhelming because this head coach does not prepare them. He's horrible at in-game adjustments. He's horrible at going after his assistant coaches and saying, yo, this game plan ain't working. Let's get back to winning football. He just stands on the sideline looking stupid and lets the game go as it may. And then at the presser, he's like, "Well, that's just the flow of the game, and that's just how the game went." Well, the games can't keep going in the directions they're going because there are times during the season. There are ebb and flows in every season with darn near every team, but there are some times during the season where the Ravens look totally unstoppable. They
Yes.
look like they are going to run over the rest of this league straight to a championship. And then
Yep.
there are other games they just look like, hey, this is the first game right after the first practice of the preseason. So, you know.
And that's the thing. You, I'm speaking for myself. When we went on that 5 stretch winning streak,
Mhm.
I really thought, okay, it's coming together. Defense still was defense still was kind of slow. Let me catch up. I see.
No, no,
I
I'm just saying, we can't use that word. We can't use that word.
what
But I get what you're saying.
what word?
He's giving the tropic a word that somebody I know is like loves to use, and I keep telling them they can't say that word, but it's a Tropic Thunder reference.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't understand. So let me keep going. But
Mentally, mental illness, mentally disturbed,
oh,
but
okay.
it's the politically incorrect usage
Okay.
of that term.
No, we don't use those words over here. No, 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 no. No, absolutely not. Good evening, Equip Institute. Thank you for being here. But yes, Alicia, thank you. The offensive line was offensive. Very, very offensive. Oh, realistic Washington fan. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But
Appreciate it.
let me scroll through. I see you, Ed, Deshaun, 86. I'm just trying to get through
Well,
everyone so I don't miss anybody. If I do, I am sorry. I'm trying to rush here because Hendo has another stream coming up. But
and this is my nap time. I'm supposed to be napping right now.
you see, he is coming out here. He's coming out here during his nap time to just spend a few minutes with us. So that's why I'm scrolling through really quickly. Sean Coles, another one of my channel members. Thank you for being here. Last thing I wanted to touch on,
Hmm.
Hendo, before we end the show. One other thing about the presser today. John Harbaugh was asked about Justin Tucker.
Hmm.
And generally, his response was, I'm confident in him,
Hmm.
and I believe he's going to bounce back.
Hmm.
The end. What were your
Yeah.
thoughts about the stance that John Harbaugh is taking, knowing what we know and seeing what we saw regarding Justin Tucker yesterday and for the
It's,
duration of this season, pretty much?
I mean, I'm indifferent to it. I have no feelings at all whatsoever because what as a head coach, what are you supposed to say? Are you supposed to say I don't believe in this guy? I don't think that he can come back. He's hit the end of his rope. He's supposed to say that he believes in Justin Tucker and he thinks that he's going to bounce back and there are little things that they can fix. But for the people that say, oh, it's just a phase, every kicker goes through it. Yeah, they do. But we've been saying this for the entire season. We've been saying this since last year. This has been a common theme for Justin Tucker. Now, if he were missing 50-yard field goals, all right, cool. Some adjustments can be made, but he's missing extra points. And that's one thing in his career early on he did not do. And it wasn't a lot of pressure. It wasn't anybody up in his face. He's just missing kicks. And there comes a time even when the greatest tend to fall off. So John Harbaugh saying, I believe in him. I mean, I expect him to say that, but I don't believe him because Justin Tucker is getting worse. As great as Justin Tucker has been, and obviously he's supposed to get grace because at one point in time, for a long period of time, he was the Baltimore Ravens offense. But as it stands right now, before the season, he was the most accurate kicker in NFL history. At this moment, Justin Tucker is last in every kicking category in the NFL. Last in every category.
Yeah.
Field goal percentage, kicks missed. Like he's missed 10 kicks this season altogether. 10 of them. And that would have at least guaranteed us 2 more wins.
Yeah,
So
for sure. I'm going to share my screen really quickly just so that we can see a few stats. I shared it earlier, so if you were on my show this afternoon, you saw it. But Hendo, I just want to get your take on this, and then we will, kind of
we
wrap
here,
up for tonight.
man. We here.
I know, but this is your nap time, dinner time.
Yeah,
You
I
got to
can't
eat.
take a nap now. I can't take a nap now.
Okay, true enough. But you can still go get something to eat. But let's have a look at some of this. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think this directly correlates to our frustration, our growing frustration with John Harbaugh's stance right now against or with Justin Tucker. This is the one I showed earlier today. The Ravens, this game against the Eagles, we surpassed them in every crucial stat, but we came in second place. There's no reason for that other than our kicker left 7 points on the field. What do you think when you see stats like this, where in every major category we surpassed the Eagles, and the one category that we didn't surpass them is the one that we were begging for, which is penalties, like limit the penalty. We finally did that, right? So by all accounts, this score should look a lot different, but it doesn't. What do you say, Hendo?
I mean, it's Baltimore Ravens football. Who has it better than us? And this right this
Hendo.
I'm just saying. This right here. Okay, it's appalling. Yes, it is. But the more appalling stat to me is the third quarter stats. Now I know it doesn't show them, but in the third quarter, the Baltimore Ravens, I believe, had 188 yards or something like that to the Eagles 3. They had 3 yards in the third quarter alone, but yet still we didn't score points. We may have had 80. I think we had 88 yards in a quarter. So the defense did what they needed to do, and we could not score. We dominated them. At the point, I think Saquon Barkley had -1 yard rushing in the third quarter alone. So
He
their
did.
offense was totally gone.
Yeah,
Justin Jalen Hurts threw for 118 yards for the game.
something like that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's minus the sacks right there. But he threw for 118 yards during the game
Yeah.
total. So they dominated in the third quarter where we could expand and kind of run away with this game. We didn't do it.
No.
And that leads to the leadership of this team. Once again, we took a 9-0 lead. And once we took that 9-0 lead, we were all feeling good. Like, hey, the Ravens got it in the bag. We're dominating them with the eyeball test. We're dominating them statistically. But then on the scoreboard, it's like, we should have more than 9 points. And then here the Eagles go, 14 straight points. And from that point on, it was kind of like, yep, we know how this game is going to go. Justin Tucker missed an extra point. Whenever he misses kicks, we lose. And then he missed another kick, and it was like, it's pretty much a wrap.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Well, that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else. That's kind of what my main takeaways were from today's presser from John Harbaugh is that we are sticking with the guys that we have, and we're going to, as a team, learn from this and grow. And he said, one other thing John Harbaugh said is that he was not upset. He's excited. He's ready
He's excited.
for the next game. Yeah, for the game against the Giants. He's ready. He's looking forward to moving on ahead.
I
Yes.
mean, I could put
So,
together a team and be excited to play the Giants.
well, he was saying he's excited to play the remainder of our teams that we have on the schedule. He just
Of
mentioned
course.
the Giants, but he's like,
I
I'm,
know. Oh, yeah, I know.
bottom
Divert.
right. And I mean, to your
You divert
point,
yourself?
yeah, but to your point, Hendo, when you say what is a coach supposed to say, Granted, I'm not really concerned so much about what Harbaugh says. I'm concerned with what he does. So I could care less. You're right. Is a coach going to come
You
on the
couldn't care
camera?
less.
What'd you say?
You couldn't care less.
I could not care less. Right. Okay. But is a coach going to come on the camera and say, oh man, he's terrible? No. I mean, maybe there's a coach who would, but I mean, generally speaking, no. But what I want
Tomlin,
the okay, he might. Yes. Okay. That's why I said
Tomlin,
there's a couple out there who might do that. You know, Gruden might have done it in his day. But anyway, moving on. So is there an expectation that he's going to come on a press conference and just kind of like throw his players under the bus? No, I don't think that at all. No, not at all. But what I do want to see is what changes are you making? Forget what you say. I want to know
hmm
what you're doing. And that's
hmm
just a life tip in general. If people's actions and their words do not align, I'm going to trust what your actions say, not what your words say. You can tell me you're there for me, I got your back. You can say all of those wonderful things, but if your actions don't demonstrate it, I'm going to choose to believe what you did as opposed to what you said. So forget what Harbaugh said. What is Harbaugh doing? We see this three-fourths of the way into the season, and we have a struggling kicker right now. What are we doing about it?
I mean, this is
You
not
bring
even a
somebody else in. I
discussion.
mean, that's the answer.
This
I
isn't
mean,
even a
it's not rocket
question.
science.
It's
It's not
not. But I
rocket
mean,
science.
but even in the concept of believing what he says and going with his actions, he's
Yeah,
given us his actions over 17 seasons.
right.
We went into playoff games. We went to the Buffalo game. And these are the games like I can remember it was the Buffalo game in the playoffs. We played a game that we lost against the Patriots, and this was post Tom Brady, where we were supposed to smack them up, and we lost. We played that game in a torrential downpour. We played the Buffalo Bills in a windstorm. And as us being the most dominant run team in NFL history, we went outside our identity and tried to pass the ball. And you would think through either two of those games, John Harbaugh would have learned and did something different. But no, he said the same things and he did the same thing. So I don't know why now in year 17, we're expecting John Harbaugh to display a different person than what we've seen throughout the past. He thinks that he's smarter than everyone else. I will admit, looking at his press conferences now, he looks a little less smug than he has in years past.
He
Before
looks
he was
smug to
just
me. I'm sorry.
no,
Sorry.
he looks like he knows his job is on the line. If the Ravens don't make it back to the AFC Championship, I do think that he believes he's gone.
I disagree. I disagree. Sorry. We're just going to have to disagree on that one. I know we said we're going to go, but Go Man just said something and I have to ask a question. I'm sorry, Go Man. I'm sorry. This one here. Harbaugh and the entire coaching staff are cooking behind the scenes. You know where I'm going. Go Man.
They cooking meth.
No, 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 no,
Oh, they're not
no.
not meth.
Stop it. Stop. No, 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 no. But what I want to say here is, you know where I'm going with this, Go Man. What evidence do you have of that? You can't just, please don't come here and just make blanket statements without documentary evidence of proof of what you're saying. That's
That could be
just I
sarcasm.
think,
It could be sarcasm.
no.
So
I,
okay, I
hold,
I
let me,
believe that I believe that it's sarcasm. Listen, listen,
Go
listen.
Man, was it sarcasm? Let me know. Or did you mean
See,
that?
he laughing. He's knowing sarcasm. Nobody can believe that they're cooking. So when the season started, and we
People
said,
do
look,
believe that.
I mean,
I'm
some people. I
sorry.
don't think. I don't think Goman does. But listen, see, before the season started, we came into the season starting off with this offensive line, and everybody was like, "Yo, this ain't the move." And everybody said, "Man, just wait till June 1st cuts." When June 1st cuts come, or when the preseason ends and they trim down the rosters, we're gonna pick somebody up. They behind the scenes doing some work, they cooking. Then it was the June 1st cuts, right? June 1st cuts came, man, they behind the scenes cooking. Watch who they pick up. They didn't pick anybody up. Then it was like, wait till the trade deadline. They're gonna get somebody. EDC's not sitting on his hands. And they didn't do a thing. So to say that they're cook, what can they be cooking with now? They don't have any utensils. The
Well, that's
stores are
what
closed. The
that's what
stores are the
that's
stores are
what Living
closed.
Legend said. They're
So
cooking with no pots and pans. But let me go back. Go Man. He's doubling
so
down now.
okay.
Let,
He,
let me say.
no, let me say this. I
Go ahead.
understand. He said he's cooking. I said EDC was cooking. He's cooking with a magnifying glass using the sun trying to cook a steak. It takes time. If I'm cooking like this, it's gonna take
Hendo, the
years.
sun.
Yeah. Listen, it can get pretty hot through a magnifying glass. I'm telling you. It may take a little bit longer, but I'm still cooking. I'm still just because the meal's not going to be done anytime soon, that doesn't mean that I'm not
Not in the
cooking.
next 10, 15, 20 years. But anyway, so
Don't say cooking chitlins.
they're cooking chitterlings. Yes, yes.
No,
Dot,
it's
dot.
chitlins. It's not chitterlings. It's
Okay,
chitlins.
fine, fine, whatever.
Chit-
We're not
say,
here to.
say
We're not.
chitlins.
We're not doing it.
Say chitlins.
I'm not. Dot dot the connector. Hey there, how you doing? But yes, Go Man is doubling down. He says they are cooking, and I
Okay.
just want to know. Right. So you said that he was joking, and I'm looking at the comments as they come through, and he was seeming to me he was
Oh,
serious. He meant
oh,
that.
okay. Yeah, that's his
So
opinion. You can't tell a man he wrong from his opinion. He think
no,
they
no, no, no.
cooking.
I didn't tell him he was wrong. I
Not you,
said
not you, not you, not you. I'm just saying in general. You can't. If that's how that man feels, I respect it. You think they're cooking. I don't know what they're cooking. I mean, he could mean they're cooking up some more losses. I don't know, another playoff failure. They could be cooking up a
Hendo. Now
lot of.
wait. Now, no.
I mean, what? What? You don't know what he says they're cooking. They could be cooking up a lot of
But
stuff.
if you take, okay, I'm going to move on from this in a second, and I'm
Some
not
people,
going to go
some
all the way
people, some
back.
people
But
think chicken. Some people think making chicken fingers and fries is cooking.
he
That's a
said,
good dinner.
Hey, Omega Red, thanks for being here. Um, what I was going to say is, yes, he's doubling down. My only thing is, Go Man, and you and I disagree often, a lot, and that's okay. I just want to know if they are cooking, and that means in a positive way, not cooking a failure, but if they're cooking, meaning they're doing things behind the scenes to make some changes so that we can be a better team. That's how I'm interpreting their cooking, right? Yes, it's open to interpretation. I get it. But if they are Go Man, when will we see the finished work? You can't be in the kitchen all day, all night, all week, all year, and everybody's sitting around the table waiting for their meal. Just give us a few more minutes because we're still cooking. Okay, well, like it's dinner time. I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat. Where's the food? We're cooking. Okay. An hour later, we're still cooking. So I just want to know, like, when will we see the result, the fruit of whatever it is that they are behind the scenes cooking? And I just want to know what evidence do we have of that? Because right now, I don't see anything.
There's a lot of evidence. A lot of it. They're cooking up self destruction, and we're seeing it each and every week. We're seeing self implosion. What's up,
Yeah.
Jared?
Yeah. Hey,
Um,
Jared. Hey there.
That's right.
But
We starve. We out here starving. Like listen. By the time there's a certain time limit from when we come into the establishment, we sit down and we place our order. I've ordered a Super Bowl for the last 10 years. I'm sitting here.
you've ordered a Super Bowl.
I've
Okay.
ordered the Super Bowl.
It's on the menu, ladies and
It's been on
gentlemen.
the menu. Super
It's
Bowl
on
is
the
on the menu.
menu.
Last season, AFC Championship was on the menu. Yes, I got it. I wasn't really fulfilled. I'll give that restaurant 3 stars. I wasn't fulfilled, but I was happy. The meal filled me up. I was a little content. Now I'm ordering a Super Bowl. And
Right.
if that's what they're cooking, they better go get some more ingredients
Yeah,
because
absolutely. They need a lot. And Goman said, we all know this is a dangerous team come December. Yes, we are. I agree with you. But are we a dangerous team come the playoffs? Are we a
facts,
dangerous team come the AFC championship? Are we a
facts.
dangerous team come the Super Bowl? Oops, my bad. We haven't been there in several years. So yes, we are a dangerous team in December. We're a dangerous team somewhat in the early part of January. But when it matters, I don't want to just be dangerous in November, December, early January. But then when we hit the playoffs and the postseason, we're irrelevant, or we are a first round exit or a second round exit,
We
or
sitting there
like
with two,
last
we sitting
year.
there with two rocks trying to start a fire,
So
trying
that's
to get
the
a
only
spark.
thing that's my only issue, Go Man. I'd love us to be more than just a dangerous December team, more than just a dangerous regular season team. It
That's right.
means that we need to be able to put it all together and
As a
become dangerous
That's
in the
because
postseason.
that's because we cook
You
without
got that?
seasoning. We don't know what seasoning is. We cook without seasoning, and then put it on TikTok and be like, "Here, look at this recipe." And then
Yeah.
people taste it like, "Did you put anything on there?" Like, yeah, salt and pepper. It's not seasoning.
Wait now. See, Suge, See, okay, let me
It can,
take.
what? Listen, what can we say? What can we say?
I was going to say something, so let me say it. See, now, Suge, now
Hey,
you
hey, Mike.
know we are dangerous in December. That was the statement. The statement was we were
It's-
dangerous in December.
That
Go
is
man
factually
did
correct.
not Go man did not say we are dangerous come the postseason into late January and early February when we are running to the Super Bowl. He didn't say that. He said we're dangerous in December. So we are dangerous in December because we typically go on a run toward the end of the season and we look really good. But then, the postseason comes and that's a whole nother chapter.
Okay, I have a
Anyway,
stat, but I have a stat for you. Yes, we passed. Past performance does not predicate future success, right?
no, I disagree. But
You
go ahead.
disagree? Okay, so I
Absolutely.
mean, listen, you can disagree. You can
Yeah.
disagree. We are a dangerous team come December, but we've had a lot of success with Lamar Jackson throughout his career. Correct?
Yes.
This is the worst record through 13 games in Lamar Jackson's career. Now, if we'd have said this before the season had started, dealing with past success, we'd have been like, it's not going to happen. But it did. And also, you have to also look at 3 games in 10 days. That's not an easy task, even for the best teams. I don't care if we were 13-0 right now. That is a tremendous task to overtake. So just thinking that we're going to go out here and flip that switch and do what we need to do and not get anybody injured. We almost had a scare with Kyle Hamilton. So
We did.
we also have to be healthy going into December. So just because we've done this in the past, we can't expect for it to happen this season. We can hope, but we can't expect for it because Lamar Jackson has never lost 5 games this early in the season.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Hey there, funky Homo sapien. Hey guys, which coach would you like if Harbaugh is fired?
Brian Flores.
I know he was going to say Flores. I don't know.
Some people want Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
Listen,
I would go with
go
Ben
out
Johnson.
go out there and get yourself a Sean McVay disciple. Get one of those and then hire Kyle Shanahan as your offensive coordinator once he gets fired. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bang.
I almost cracked up.
For what?
442 Bear. We're cooking up a first round exit with a side of missed blocks and field goals. That's why I almost cracked up, okay? Because of
I don't,
442 Bear. Wow.
I don't like sides.
I mean, you're spot on, but absolutely. Yes, Tanja, somebody young and innovative. That's who I would want. I would want someone young, innovative, and someone who has a demonstrated history of knowing how to coach a team of young and developing players because that's what the Ravens have on offense, especially this offensive line. And
Right.
someone who's going to hold their offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and all of their staff accountable and hold himself accountable as well. That's who I want.
Right. And you know why you would also want somebody that's young and innovative? Because these young and innovative guys, they know, listen, this may be my only shot. Like they may not recycle me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and bring in the best collection of coaching talent that I can. Unlike John Harbaugh, who hires some retreads, some old guys that nobody else wants. They're going to hire guys that may be the best available at their position. You'll never see John Harbaugh go out there and get the best offensive coordinator. You'll never see him go out there and get the best defensive coordinator because he's afraid that if the team tailspins, he may be in jeopardy of being replaced by one of them. But my thing is, if you bring in the best available that's out there, you don't have anything to worry about because you are going to win. Like you have Lamar Jackson, bring somebody in that accentuates his talents and brings out the best in him. Bring somebody in here that knows how to play. And I hate to say this, well, I don't hate to say it, but to give your man props, with Kyle Van Noy out,
Ooh,
Odafe Owe was our best pass rusher. With
yes,
him
he
out,
is.
whether you like him or you don't like him, he is our best pass rusher. Do you know that Odafe Owe only played 15 snaps this game?
15 snaps yesterday. And I was going to bring that up on the list, but I said, no, I know time is of the essence for you, Hendo, so I wanted to be respectful. But he said, Coach Harbaugh was asked about that. Why did Odafe only play 15 snaps? And he's like, oh, because it was, primarily a run stopping type of defense. And we knew that. And we understood that, Odafe always is going to be out there to defend against the pass.
We don't have him to defend against the pass. His job is to rush the passer. His job is to set the edge and
Yes,
create pressure. That's his
correct. That's
job.
his job. But that's what he had to say about my guy, Odafio. I didn't put it on the list to talk about, but family, we are going to get out of here now
Mm.
because Hendo has another live stream starting in just a little bit at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're just now joining us, please make sure to go over to Sip to Tally Films, where Coach Evans and the entire crew, I believe the entire crew, I'm not sure if Mike will be there tonight, but the
Mm.
majority of the crew, okay, well, the
We might have a
majority,
special. Hopefully, we might have a special guest. I don't know.
okay, well, just head on over to Sip to Tally Films and get ready for a really good dialogue conversation.
Yes, I want.
It's going to be fire tonight.
Right, I want to hear what Coach has to say because in his live stream, like you could tell, Coach is hurt. Like the rest of us, he's hurt, and
Yeah.
there's some things that he may want to say. And I just wish, like sometimes, that some of y'all could hear some of the conversations that we have offline because they ain't pretty. It ain't
Tavius
pretty, but it's us.
Tanja, that's nobody was rushing to pass, so that's why we didn't. Tavius Robinson, that's what John Harbaugh said. He's like, why was Odafe Owe, why did he only play 15 snaps? And he started his, whole diatribe about, oh goodness, it was a, stop the run type of defense, and we recognize that. So and Tavius Robinson was out there, and
Did you see Ojabo out there? Because I know he played like
no,
he played like 8 snaps.
I did
What
not
was the
see
purpose? What was
him.
the purpose of activating him? Because that was his whole thing. His whole thing was we put Marcus Williams on the inactive list for situational football to have certain guys in for certain things. But my thing is, you didn't even play certain guys. What is 8 snaps?
8 snaps. What is that? What's 15?
Yeah, just say,
It's
look, I don't
nothing.
believe in Marcus Williams. We about to cut him after the season. We don't want his injury settlement to kick in, so we just sit him on the sidelines. Just say that.
Yeah. We can live with that. We can live with that. Thank you all so much for joining. We will see you very soon. Until next time, you take care, stay safe, and always, always remember, even when we come in second place, it's still go
Fire John
Ravens.
Harbaugh.
Go Ravens.
Can EDC.
See you guys.